Beatrice Fairchild never imagined her life would be reduced to a debt payment, but in Breckenridge, Colorado, in 1878, desperation leaves her moments away from being auctioned to the highest bidder. Just as fear closes in, a quiet but unwavering cowboy, Zachariah Ellis, steps forward, paying off her father's debt and granting her the freedom she thought she'd lost forever. Seeking refuge at his ranch, Beatrice begins to heal, discovering safety, dignity, and a growing affection she never expected. But as past troubles resurface, she must choose whether to cling to fear, or embrace a future built on Zachariah's steady, honest love. Breckenridge, Colorado, in 1878 was a town built on gold fever, desperation, and the men who chased both. For Beatrice Fairchild, it had become the place where her life unraveled piece by piece. Her father, Charles Fairchild, once a respected merchant, had gambled their future away, leaving behind nothing but unpaid debts and dangerous promises. Beatrice had tried to shield him, tried to work harder, tried to save what little they had, but the day finally arrived when the debt collectors came calling. She stood in the center of the crowded mining hall, trembling as the auctioneer's voice boomed. She heard words spoken about her, compensation, payment, property, and each one struck like a blade. Her father pleaded, but the men wanted their money, and they would take it any way they could. Beatrice felt faint as one of the wealthiest, and cruelest, mine owners raised his hand to bid. She had seen him before. She knew the kind of life she'd be forced into. And then, through the haze of voices and fear, she heard another bid. Firm. Measured. Almost calm. Every head turned. Zachariah Ellis stood near the back, his broad shoulders dusted with trail dirt, hat tilted low but not enough to hide the sharpness in his steel-gray eyes. He was a rancher, known in Breckenridge for his quiet nature, his honesty, and his refusal to be intimidated by powerful men. As the bidding rose, Zachariah didn't back down. He outbid every man without a flicker of hesitation. When the final number was called, the hall fell silent. He stepped forward, pulled a leather pouch from his coat, and placed the money on the table as if buying a simple parcel of land, then turned to Beatrice with a voice gentle enough to steady her trembling breath. "You're not property, Miss Fairchild. You're free to walk out of here." Beatrice stared at him, stunned. Her father wept with relief, but Zachariah placed a hand on his shoulder and spoke softly, ensuring no shame lingered. Then he turned to Beatrice again. "You're welcome to come with me to Ellis Ranch. No obligations. No expectations. Just a place to start fresh." She hesitated only a moment before nodding. Anything was better than staying. The first days at the ranch were quiet. She helped with small tasks, cooked meals, kept to herself. But Zachariah treated her with a respect she wasn't used to, never crossing boundaries, never assuming anything. He paid her wages for her work, insisting she deserved independence while she figured out her next step. As weeks passed, Beatrice discovered laughter again. Zachariah showed her how to ride one of his gentlest horses, how to tell when a storm was coming by the shape of the clouds, and how hard-earned peace could still exist in a rough world. He listened to her worries without judgment, and she found herself drawn to the man behind the stoic exterior, a man who'd lost his parents young, built his ranch from nothing, and vowed never to let cruelty rule his life. Their growing bond didn't escape the townsfolk's notice, but neither of them rushed it. Love came gradually, through shared chores, stolen glances, quiet dinners, and the warmth of trust blossoming where fear once lived. One evening, as gold sunlight spilled across the fields, Zachariah brought her to the wooden fence overlooking the ranch. He spoke softly, voice thick with sincerity. "Beatrice, if you ever wanted to stay, not out of debt or gratitude, but because your heart feels something here, I'd be honored to build a life with you." Her answer was tears of joy and a whispered yes. Their wedding took place under the open Colorado sky, surrounded by neighbors who had watched her transform from a terrified young woman into a confident, hopeful bride. The Ellis Ranch, once only Zachariah's sanctuary, became a home filled with laughter, purpose, and the life Beatrice had never dared dream she could have. And in the rugged beauty of the frontier, two souls broken by circumstance found a future built on kindness, courage, and love that outlived every hardship.